At this time, I'd like to call upon Missy West, who will accept the awards on behalf of the 2017 induction class. Congratulations, Ms.
This is incredible, by the way. You all look magnificent. I just want to shout that out. We all look amazing, right? I think so. I think we all look really good tonight. Is Rick Wagner out there? Way in the back. Rick, stand up real quick for me, if you don't mind. That's the guy that produced all those videos. He flew all around the country to interview us, and what an incredible job that he did. It's the spring of 1990 in Malone. It's 45 degrees, and the bases are loaded. I look up from the pitcher's mound to peek at the sidelines. I see family, friends, neighbors, teachers, and administrators all cheering me on. I recognize my mother's voice. "You can do it, miss." I scan to my dad, and our eyes connect. My younger brother, well, he's off playing with his friends in the distance, and my older brother, he's standing with his friends watching the game. I look to my coach, nodding her head, providing me words of encouragement. My teammates remind me there's no outs. We need to focus on this next batter. 4 pitches later, I walk another run across home plate. I'm devastated. I'm embarrassed. It's 45 degrees, and yet my palms are sweating, because that's 5 walks in a row. And the voice inside of me is saying, I don't belong here. I find the courage to lift my head to scan the sidelines once again. While I'm saying to myself, I don't belong here, the eyes looking back at me were saying, yes, you do. You got this. We lost that game, not because the opponent came up with big hits or my teammates committed errors. I walked everyone home. See, 2 things could have happened after that game. I could have listened to my voice telling me, I don't belong here. I never want to go through that again. Or I could have listened to the voices of my family, my coach, my teammates and community saying, you got this. I stand here today because I chose to listen to them. It was their voices and confidence that gave me the courage to get back on the mound. And that's the high school experience. This story became a tipping point in my life that encouraged me to take risks and go after my dreams. It led to a basketball scholarship to play for Duke University and an opportunity to play professionally in Germany. For Bobby Richardson, he was cut from his freshman baseball team and yet became a New York Yankee and a 3-time World Series champion. For Lisa Fernandez, she was told her arms weren't long enough, and at the height of 5'6", she was not cut out to be a softball pitcher, and yet she played for UCLA and became a 3-time Olympic gold medalist. Like Lisa, Joe Dial was told time and time again he was too short to be a pole vaulter, and yet he was the first in high school history to clear 18 feet, eventually becoming a world record holder. I am so honored to be a part of a Hall of Fame that recognizes not only the excellence of athletes, but the support teams that provide the platforms for athletes like Lisa, Bobby, Joe, and myself to excel. Based on the videos we just saw and the accomplishments of the collective, this is the high school dream team. We have incredible coaches like Joe Lombard and Russ Cozart and Steve Shondell and Bernie Walter and Jerry Winterton, who have a combined winning percentage of 91%. And although their records were outstanding, perhaps more importantly were the lessons they taught their athletes, like how to strive for excellence, how to become a leader, how to win and lose with grace, and how to return to play another day. I asked Steve what he felt was a reason for his team's success. He said, "I believe it was because they knew I truly cared about them." For Russ and Jerry, they mentioned they always had great leadership on their teams. Joe said his players really understood the concept of team. Bernie mentioned about the confidence both his players and coaches had in each other. We have Bill Lottie, who is not only considered one of the best football, basketball, and baseball officials in Illinois, but also worked countless hours educating referees on rule knowledge and mechanics, raising the bar across the state. We have Rick Wolko, an administrator who rallied a school and community behind not only sports teams, but all extracurricular activities during those vulnerable, awkward teenage years where kids are just trying to figure out where they can fit in and where they can excel. In order to achieve such greatness, which this inductee class has demonstrated, we are well aware that it wasn't just our personal sacrifice and dedication that led us here today, but a combination of similar sacrifice and dedication from our families and the ones that love us most. Bill told me that his state association in Illinois has a slogan that refers to sports and extracurricular activities as the other half of education. I think we all can agree with this statement just by reflecting back on our own lives. The lessons we have all learned through our own participation goes far beyond just the game itself. In fact, it helped shape who we were, the friends we chose, the decision to go to college, and for many of us, it even led to career paths offering us the opportunity to give back and reteach all the life lessons that we learned at such a fragile time in our own lives. This other half of education taught us about work ethic and dedication and what it means to set a goal and achieve it together as a team. It helped us excel academically and held us accountable for attending class and committing ourselves to our education so we could go out and impact the world. When I look at our inductees tonight, I recognize we come with our own unique high school experiences, different times and different places. However, we are united in agreement that a positive high school experience can be a game changer in our children's lives, as it was for us. Today, some of the magic of high school experience is competing with cell phones and text messages and social media. Remember back in the good old days when the Friday night game was the focus of the school and the community? When the game or the concert or the recital, that was the best show in town? When we would look out at the stands and see eyes actually looking back at us rather than down at their phones. Neighbors would actually speak to one another at a halftime or an intermission. Wouldn't it be great if all spectators had to check their phones at the door? Yeah, check it at the door prior to entering a game so they could focus on the students and the actual event. I would just like to really see us hold on to that community feel that the high school experience was and should be. In the spirit of the good old days, I would like to see us encourage our children to participate in a variety of activities in those developing years. Most of our inductee class, including myself, participated in multiple sports in our youth, which allowed for greater exposure to our own skill sets, different coaches, different teammates, different experiences. Through this exposure, it gave us opportunity to be resilient and tenacious, which build our self-esteem and our confidence. Robert Zayas, who is the executive director of the New York State Public High School Athletic Association, told me the other day that high school participation is a leadership laboratory where we learn how to fail, we learn how to overcome adversity, and we learn how to rise above. I recently joined up with a Positive Coaching Alliance and soon will be out in our school systems educating our coaches and our parents that sports simply is not just about the game or what the scoreboard reads. It's about developing better people, better citizens who can go out and positively impact our world in which we live. Instead of pressuring our children to win, why don't we be great role models and encourage them to have fun, to give their best effort, and to be respectful of their teammates, their opponents, their coaches, and the officials. I learned through the PCA that 70% of our youth are dropping out of sports by the age of 13. This certainly is a frightening percentage. We need to be encouraging our people to stay involved, especially in the moments when it gets hard and things don't go their way. We can't lose sight as to what it means to be a part of a team within a community. And I'm not referring to a wrestling team or a baseball team. I mean the high school experience team that entails all extracurricular activities, including music, in art, in theater, in debate teams, and so many more. Our high school experience has led us to incredible places, being able to interact with extraordinary people and have opened the doors into our futures and our careers. I was just a young kid from the village of Malone, 2 miles from the Canadian border. But it was that village, that team at Franklin Academy that built me. In closing, on behalf of the class of 2017 National Hall of Fame inductees, we want to say thank you to all of those who have embraced us, loved us unconditionally, and shared in our failures and our accomplishments throughout our journeys. To our parents, our brothers and our sisters, our spouses, our extended family, our grandchildren, and those that are with us today and those that have passed, we love you and are so truly grateful for your sacrifices you have made for us. We share this honor with you. To our coaches and officials and administrators and our communities whom have personally touched our lives and helped lead us down the right path, you too are a huge part of our celebration this evening. To Bob Gardner, Bruce Howard, and the National Hall of Fame Committee, as well as our state associations back at home, and many of you out there in the audience today, we are so very appreciative for not only the work that you put in to allow us to be here tonight, but for all the work that you put in throughout the year to keep the high school experience alive and to continue to give our children the opportunities to discover themselves as we were once given so long ago. We share this with all of you. Thank you.